welcome. So if you're watching this, as usual, I just want to take a second to thank you for doing that. I'm continuing to practice, continuing to learn, continuing to figure out this whole teaching thing. So your feedback is really very much appreciated if you check out this video. So I thought what I'd do today is take a minute and talk a little bit about yoga props. Specifically, I thought let's talk about how your basic yoga strap can be helpful. So first off, if you don't have a yoga strap, that's fine. You can use a tie, you can use a belt. There's a lot of things around the house that can take the place of your yoga strap. So a couple of ways you can make use of a yoga strap. The first one I'm going to show you is a little different, and it's something that was introduced to me in a class I took, and I really loved it. I had not thought about doing this. So let's say that you are in your basic like warrior two pose. So we're going to bring our left foot forward, facing forward, right foot back, heel in line with the instep, right foot at a 90-degree angle, left knee bent, here for our warrior two, right? So typically in warrior two, I'm going to have my hands out, shoulder height, right? Let's say though I'm just in the mood to do something different with my arms. Maybe I just want to change it up a little bit, and I want kind of a different feel, a different sort of stretch, and I want to work my arms just a little bit differently in this pose. So keeping my legs just like they are for warrior two. Again, nice strong bend in the front leg, back leg nice and straight, that back foot at about a 90-degree angle, toes pretty much pointing directly to the long side of your mat. So instead of taking my arms out straight, what I can do is take my yoga strap in my hands and then bring my arms into what we call cactus shape. So holding and keeping just a little bit, not an extreme amount of tension, just a small amount of tension. I want to feel a little bit of tightening as I bring my arms down. I want to feel a little bit of tightening in that yoga strap, but it shouldn't be uncomfortable. It shouldn't be painful. We're not talking about an extreme amount of tension, but just a little bit of tension, coming to what we call cactus arms and holding that while you're in your warrior two versus your arms out straight. I know it doesn't seem like much, but I'm telling you, it's a really fabulous stretch. And if you're anything like me, you will definitely feel that if you do that a couple of times in your mid back. So you can also do that same thing in your warrior one pose. So we're going to move to warrior one. So in warrior one, this front foot, for my case, just so I can face you guys, this is going to be my left foot, is again, that knee is going to be bent. This time, the foot is going to be kind of hip distance apart, and that right, that back foot's going to be more at a 45-degree angle. So getting in your warrior one stance, hips square to the front of the mat. Again, so usually in a warrior one stance, I'm going to have hands at heart center, or I'm going to have hands lifted. Typically hands lifted, right? But like I said, maybe I want a bit of a different feeling kind of stretch. Maybe I want to do something a little different with my arms and shoulders in that moment. So again, I can do that same thing we just did in warrior two. So just showing that you can do this and you can utilize this in a couple of different poses. So having that strap up, having a little bit of tension, and then just bringing my arms to that cactus shape, keeping my hips squared, keeping my left knee bent, but bringing my arms down to that cactus shape with my elbows at a 90-degree angle. Just a way to change it up a little bit, utilizing your strap to help move a little bit how you feel, at least for the shoulder and arm portion of some of these poses, standing poses we do, how you can shift that up a little bit and change it. So you can do that for warrior two, you can do that for warrior one. Those aren't the only ones you can do that with, but just something to think about. So let's go ahead and come down to seated, and I'll show you a couple more uses for your yoga strap. So one thing I love to do, I have tight shoulders, so it's good for me to stretch them out. So one thing I like to do is kind of that same thing. Here, I'm just in a nice, easy seat. I'm just sitting cross-legged, comfortable. You can get a pillow to raise your hips a little bit if that helps. You can put blocks under your knees if you feel any tension there. But just getting on the ground, seated in a way that feels comfortable to you so that you're not being distracted by any aches or hurt in your knees. Giving the puppy love as required. Absolutely, my mamas. So again, we're gonna bring that strap up and we're gonna hold with just a little tension. Now notice I don't have my hands directly up. I've got them out a little bit. Now here's the thing, I don't want them out so much that basically there's no tension, but I do want to give myself enough space that for my shoulder flexibility, it's hard to like be really specific about how much space, because depending on shoulder flexibility, depending on exactly how our bodies are designed, that'll be different for each of us. But holding this kind of out a little bit in a V so that you got a little tension, and as you're ready, exhaling and bringing that strap back behind your back. Notice how my arms turn out. That strap is now behind my back. Give yourself enough space that as you're doing that maneuver and bringing your arms over your head and back, you feel tension, but not so much tension it feels uncomfortable or painful. Inhaling up. I'm gonna give myself just a little more space there, and you can come all the way down, keeping your arms straight. So again, keeping your arms straight, the goal is to give yourself enough space between your hands on the strap that you don't have to bend at the elbows. You want to be able to do this with your arms straight. And you're just really getting that nice, strong rotation and stretch there in the shoulders. So inhaling up, exhaling as you bring your arms all the way back, bringing that strap behind your back. Once again, inhaling up, exhaling, strap down to your lap. And you can do this several repetitions, just whatever feels right for you. Let's do it one more time. Inhaling up, exhaling as we bring that strap all the way behind our back. Inhaling up, exhaling as we bring that strap all the way down to our lap. So that's another great way that I love to make use of my yoga strap. And then for me, yoga straps are always really nice when it comes to being able to comfortably come into a forward fold and keep my form. So a lot of times in forward fold, we are overextending our backs. We're trying to force it. We're going beyond our own natural flexibility, and it's really important that we keep that hinge from the hips, we keep that movement from the hips, and that we're careful with the lower back. So this is where your yoga strap can come in handy. So let's say I'm going to do a forward fold with the use of my yoga strap. Great tool. So what I can do is I'm sitting up here nice and tall, all right? Feet, legs out, feet flexed, pointing towards the ceiling. Nice tall back, nice straight spine. So the goal of forward fold is to hinge forward without really just kind of like losing that straight spine, right? So for some of us, we may not be able to get a lot of forward on that. And if we, which is fine. We don't have to. But if you are wanting to play around with the yoga strap and how it can help you, you can take the strap and put it around the balls of your feet. You want to be careful that you're not putting it over the arches. You want to be careful with the arches of your feet. So you want it on the balls of your feet. And then again, sit up nice and tall, nice straight spine. And then you can bring yourself into that forward fold with the support of the yoga strap, getting a nice stretch through the calves and the hamstrings. One of the really nice things about this for me that I notice is when I do use the strap, instead of just kind of not using it, I am able, because it's really kind of bringing those balls of my feet more towards me, it actually helps really facilitate the stretch just for my body in my hamstrings and my calves. I do feel it there. So the strap isn't necessarily making it easier, it's just making it a little bit different. Great tool. So obviously you can also do the same concept if you're doing a single leg stretch, right? So let's say that I've got my, in this case, my left foot in with the sole resting against my right thigh. And I'm getting ready to fold over this right leg. Again, same idea. Strap over the ball of my foot and then sitting up nice and tall, hinging forward, but with the support of that strap, very helpful. So that's another way we can utilize the yoga strap. Also in our reclined poses, the yoga strap can be great. Same concept I was just sharing with the seated poses. Same concept. So let's say that I'm going to be doing my single leg stretch, right? But I'm going to be doing it laying down. So in this case, I have my right leg fully extended, and it's the left leg that I'm going to bring up to the ceiling. So you can see that when I do that, I've got fairly tight calves and hamstrings, so my foot's really not coming all the way up to the ceiling, which is fine, absolutely fine. But if I do want a little more stretch, what I can do is, once again, I'm going to take that strap over the ball of that left foot, careful for the arch, and then I can help encourage that stretch for the calves and the hamstrings and deepen it a little bit. Also, one of the great things about this, while you're here with the strap, with the one leg elevated, right? If you'd also like to include some stretches for the hips, right now I've got my left leg lifted, so if I take the strap into my left hand, and then I can use it to help bring my left leg out, getting a nice stretch that way. Inhaling back up, I can then come back up, move the strap for my left, I'm here again, I'm on my left foot, so I can move it into my right hand, and from there, bring my leg over to the right for a nice outer hip stretch here. And then obviously I would be able to repeat all of that with the right leg. So just a few ways that your yoga strap can be really helpful. One more I'm going to try here is, let's say we're in a reclined butterfly, right? And maybe here in my reclined butterfly, for a reclined butterfly, we're laying on our back, we got our soles of our feet touching, and our knees open up out to each side, right? Maybe that doesn't feel so comfortable for the knees though. So what I can do is I can use the strap and here I can just hold on to it, or I can actually connect the strap and just give my knees a little extra support if I find that reclined butterfly is a little too intense. Another option you can have for a comfortable reclined butterfly, if that is a pose that you start finding is a little too intense, is you can also put blocks under each knee, and that can be super helpful and comfortable too. But we're talking about the yoga strap today, so few ways you can make use of a yoga strap. Hope that's helpful. Let me know how I did on explaining this, if you got any tips, if you got any feedback. Once again, greatly appreciated.